I'm joined by Rebecca Ryan now. Rebecca is campaign director of Defund the BBC. Rebecca, good morning. Episode 1 of, and the title is very telling, isn't it? I Am Not a Monster. The Shamima Begum story. This will be available from January. What's your reaction when you heard this news?
I think it's just the BBC's become a parody of itself. You know, broadcasting the opinions and views of someone like Shamima, who polls have shown over and over again that between 79 and 85% of Britons do not want Shamima to have her British citizenship given back. You know, people strongly believe that this woman was a member of the terrorist organisation. You know, all the international intelligence shows that. We don't want licence fee payers' money being spent on hearing her side of the story. You know, it's just unacceptable for British people to be forced into paying for the BBC when they are putting out this kind of content. You know, the BBC is supposed to represent the views of the whole of the UK. Now, the whole of the UK, you know, like I said, around 80% in polls consistently show people do not want Shamima to be given back her citizenship, and they don't want to hear her side of the story.
I'm quite torn in a way, Rebecca, because I think as a journalist, as a mother of teenage daughters, I'm very interested to know how a girl born and bred in London was able to be radicalised. And I'm also quite keen to make up my own mind by hearing it from her as opposed to reading headlines. But then I also think, how must the families of victims of ISIS terrorist attacks feel when they see that she has a voice and they do not? Which side of that particular debate should the BBC sit on?
Well, I think that the BBC should sit on the side of listening to the overall views of the UK, and that those show clearly that, you know, we're not a nation of terrorist sympathisers. Now, she was radicalised as a teenage girl, but she went over there and she was a willing participant. You know, as I said, international intelligence shows that she was sewing on suicide vests as an adult woman. You know, she was a willing participant and a willing accomplice along with her husband in this sort of battle for the war that ISIS was trying to win over there. So I just really think that it's not right for licence fee payers' money to be spent on hearing her side of the story. And absolutely, we've been hearing overnight from a lot of the people who support us, which are absolutely appalled, where they are being forced to pay a licence and that the money is being spent on this kind of narrative from her side.